Nice Friday. It looks like the markets are cooking something here. It looks like we might have a Fed pivot. We've just had the information come out. So we're going to watch exactly what happened. We're going to discuss what I think is happening. We're going to go through everything that I see in this market so you guys can be fully up to date with what I'm seeing in this market. If you are watching live right now, please do smash that like button. It will help me get this video out to more people. And that is all I ask in return. If you do have any questions, you can come and comment them right below here. I'm just like to take the starting of this a little bit slow to make sure that we have everyone in before we jump into it. But we can see that the S&P 500 here has risen 1.5% after the Fed Chair Powell says the time has come for the Fed rate cuts. Now the S&P 500 is officially up more than 10% from its August 5th lows. In other words, the index has added back over $4.5 trillion of market cap in just 3 weeks. Guys, $4.5 trillion. The entire market cap of crypto is just 2.18. So there has been twice the entire market cap for crypto that has entered into the overall markets. Let me just jump back onto that tweet. Entered back into the S&P 500, twice as much than the entire crypto market. So that gives you a little idea as to the amount of liquidity that is out there waiting to come into this market. Now, is it the time? Is this the time? Are we about to go absolutely parabolic? Or is this just a little trick before, we head on downwards? Let's discuss that in a second. But let's hear from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jerome Powell. Now, if you can, just smash this like button. We're going to go through this. I currently have it at 2x speed because that's what I watch it at. It's 8 minutes, so we want to get through this quickly. But let me know in the comment section if it's too fast, and let's jump into it.
Inflation has declined significantly. The labor market is no longer overheated, and conditions are now less tight than those that prevailed before the pandemic. Supply constraints have normalized, and the balance of risks to our two mandates has changed. Our objective has been to restore price stability while maintaining a strong labor market, avoiding the sharp increases in unemployment that characterized earlier disinflationary episodes when inflation expectations were less well anchored. While the task is not complete, we have made a good deal of progress toward that outcome. Today, I will begin by addressing the current economic situation and the path ahead for monetary policy. I will then turn to a discussion of economic events since the pandemic arrived, exploring why inflation rose to levels not seen in a generation and why it has fallen so much while unemployment has remained low. So let's begin with the current situation and the near-term outlook for policy. For much of the past 3 years, inflation ran well above our 2% goal and labor market conditions were extremely tight. The FOMC's primary focus has been on bringing down inflation, and appropriately so. Prior to this episode, most Americans alive today had not experienced the pain of high inflation for a sustained period. Inflation brought substantial hardship, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials, like food, housing, and transportation. High inflation triggered stress and a sense of unfairness that linger today. Our restrictive monetary policy helped restore balance between aggregate supply and demand, easing inflationary pressures and ensuring that inflation expectations remain well anchored. Inflation is now much closer to our objective, with prices having risen 2.5% over the past 12 months. After a pause earlier this year, progress toward our 2% objective has resumed. My confidence has grown that inflation is on a sustainable path back to 2%. Turning to employment, in the years just prior to the pandemic, we saw the significant benefits to society that can come from a long period of strong labor market conditions. Low unemployment, high participation, historically low racial employment gaps, and with inflation low and stable, healthy real wage gains that were increasingly concentrated among those with lower incomes. Today, the labor market has cooled considerably from its formerly overheated state. The unemployment rate began to rise over a year ago and is now at 4.3%, still low by historical standards, but almost a full percentage point above its level in early 2023. Most of that increase has come over the past 6 months. So far, rising unemployment has not been the result of elevated layoffs, as is typically the case in an economic downturn. Rather, the increase mainly reflects a substantial increase in the supply of workers and a slowdown from the previously frantic pace of hiring. Even so, the cooling in labor market conditions is unmistakable. Job gains remain solid, but have slowed this year. Job vacancies have fallen, and the ratio of vacancies to unemployment has returned to its pre-pandemic range. The hiring and quits rates are now below the levels that prevailed in 2018 and 19. Nominal wage gains have moderated, and all told, labor market conditions are now less tight than just before the pandemic in 2019, a year when inflation ran below 2%. It seems unlikely that the labor market will be a source of elevated inflationary pressures anytime soon. We do not seek or welcome further cooling in labor market conditions. Overall, the economy continues to grow at a solid pace, but the inflation and labor market data show an evolving situation. The upside risks to inflation have diminished, and the downside risks to employment have increased. As we highlighted in our last FOMC statement, we are attentive to the risks to both sides of our dual mandate. The time has come for policy to adjust. The direction of travel is clear, and the timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks.
The time has come for the policy to adjust, guys. And I will not adjust the speed because I have an ADHD mind and I have to be watching it at 2x speed or I just feel super uncomfortable. If you're the same as me, smash that like button. And if you're not the same as me, do let me know in the comment section. I just want to check something. I want to see if Sam can give us some of his insights into what's happening. But yeah, so I watch all of my things in 2x speed, guys. I'm sorry about that, but I just cannot focus if it's not 2x speed. So let's get back.
We will do everything we can to support a strong labor market as we make further progress toward price stability. With an appropriate dialing back of policy restraint, there is good reason to think that the economy will get back to 2% inflation while maintaining a strong labor market. The current level of our policy rate gives us ample room to respond to any risks we may face, including the risk of unwelcome further weakening in labor market conditions. So let's now turn to the questions of why inflation rose and why it has fallen so significantly even as unemployment has remained low. There's a growing body of research on these questions, including Gabby Eggerson's work, which we'll shortly discuss, and this is a good time for this discussion. It is, of course, too soon to make definitive assessments. This period will be analyzed and debated long after we are all gone. The arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic led quickly to shutdowns in economies around the world. It was a time of radical uncertainty and severe downside risks. As so often happens in times of crisis, Americans adapted and innovated. Governments responded with extraordinary force, especially in the United States. Congress unanimously passed the CARES Act. At the Fed, we used our powers to an unprecedented extent to stabilize the financial system and help stave off an economic depression. After a historically deep but brief recession in mid-2020, the economy began to grow again. And as the risks of a severe extended downturn receded, and as the economy reopened, we faced the risk of replaying the painfully slow recovery that followed the global financial crisis. Congress delivered substantial additional fiscal support in late 2020 and again in early 2021. Spending recovered strongly in the first half of 2021, and the ongoing pandemic shaped the pattern of recovery. Lingering concerns over COVID weighed on spending on in-person services, but pent-up demand, stimulative policies, pandemic changes in work and leisure practices, and the additional savings associated with constrained services spending all contributed to a historic surge in consumer spending on goods. The pandemic also wreaked havoc on supply conditions. 8 million people left the workforce at its onset, and the size of the labor force was still 4 million below its pre-pandemic level in early 2021. The labor force would not return to its pre-pandemic trend until mid-2023. Supply chains were snarled by a combination of lost workers, disrupted international trade linkages, and tectonic shifts in the composition and level of demand. Clearly, this was nothing like the slow recovery after the global financial crisis. Enter inflation. After running below target through 2020, inflation spiked in March and April 2021. The initial burst of inflation was concentrated rather than broad-based, with extremely large price increases for goods in short supply, such as motor vehicles. My colleagues and I judged at the outset that these pandemic-related factors would not be persistent, and thus that the sudden rise in inflation was likely to pass through fairly quickly without the need for a monetary policy response. In short, that the inflation would be transitory. Standard thinking has long been that as long as inflation expectations remain well anchored, it can be appropriate for central banks to look through a temporary rise in inflation. The good ship transitory was a crowded one. With most mainstream analysts and advanced economy central bankers on board, I think I see some former shipmates out there today.
So guys, I can see there's a lot of you who don't like the fast speed. I'm sorry, I thought everyone in crypto was like ADHD like me, so I'll try not to play it in 2x speed before. But as we can see here, inflation, he said it, inflation has declined significantly. Is that true, or is it all just a fugazi? We don't know for sure. Of course, he wants to ease everyone's tensions, everyone's fears on the market. So he's going to come out and say this, but what we're going to get now is basically everyone is pricing in that we're getting those interest rate cuts that we've been waiting for. So people are, some are bullish, some are bearish on interest rate cuts. What does it mean? In the history of the markets, interest rate cuts do come before a recession. It's still my belief that we are going to get a recession, but I think the can is going to get kicked down the road. And before everyone realizes this, in the crypto market at least, and in the S&P 500, which we're seeing right now, it is going to have a push upwards, right? We're going to have a pump. We're going to have an alt season. We're going to have more Bitcoin price action going upwards. We can see this now, $61,000. We've seen this sharp increase. The market likes this. The market likes the news. It's very, very excited about the news. And so far, so good. If we do look at the overall market, we can see if we do refresh this here, we are up 2%, not massive, but 2% in the market, and altcoins are actually doing quite well. We've spoken about this today. There are a number of altcoins that I've been looking at, but before we jump into altcoins, because we got to speak about Bitcoin and everything that's going on here, new Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin, has been profitable for over 96% of its history, which is kind of crazy considering how bearish the comments are. Most people say that crypto's a scam, Bitcoin's a scam, altcoin's a scam, all of that. But Bitcoin, of course, that is the largest holding in my portfolio. 96% of the time, it has been in profit. So unless you bought at the all-time highs, that is the only time you're going to be in a loss for Bitcoin anyway. Now, we heard from Powell, so we've seen this, right? It has come for Fed policy to adjust. The time has come for Fed policy to adjust. Rate cuts are coming. This is what we want. This is what we have been waiting for. And listening closely to Powell, this Anna Wong's take is that he is already on board with the 50 basis point cut given the current data. It is now a matter of can he convince the other FOMC members. So are they going to have a 50 basis point cut or are they going to have a 25 basis point cut? Either way, I think this is going to be bullish for the market in the short term. But I do want to hear from my friend, but it doesn't seem like he wants to come on. Sam, if you're watching this, I want you on here. Let's discuss it. Let me see it. I'll just send him a Google Meet, and then he can join it if he will hear him clicking on. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Smash the like button if you want me to start answering questions. Let's get that to 100 likes. We're only at 50 likes, guys. You got to smash like button. There's 226 of you watching right now. Let's get to 100 likes and I'll start answering your altcoin questions down there. Let's check. Now, I'm going to go check. Holy, wow. Oh my. What is that? That's the daily chart. Damn, that is a... Look at this chart. Which altcoin do you reckon that is? It's a very nice looking chart on the daily chart right there. Which altcoin, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Do you think that is? $66 likes. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. All right, Sam cannot join right now. What error are you getting, Mike? It's not AVAX, guys. It is none other than TRX. Probably one of the most hated coins on the market. TRX. We spoke about this today. I'll go through some of the data that I found, but TRX and AVAX, I think, are really, really good options for you guys to research. Now, I'm gonna go through that a little bit more in a second. But guys, look at this. We opened some trades here yesterday. We got the AVAX trades that I was speaking about yesterday. We opened some AVAX trades. I opened a risky one, or no, the risky one here, which was 50x using Chainlink as collateral, 10 Chainlink. We got $700 of profit, and then I opened up a much smaller 5x longer term position here at 42% profit. So AVAX is doing really well. I stumbled across some information on AVAX yesterday. I was like, hold on a second, why am I not holding this, right? This seems like an obvious choice to be holding. Let me see if I can find it. So here, we got Grayscale, right? Grayscale introducing AVAX Investment Trust. We have Franklin Templeton, 1.6 trillion assets under management. Announces today that their on-chain money market fund will be live and tokenized on AVAX, which is the lowest cost, most decentralized layer 1. We also have 10% change in the supply over 30 days for AVAX for USDT. These are the signs of an inflection point for AVAX. Remember the hype and activity on there the last cycle. This is coming back. So guys, if the interest rates come down and we do get what I think might happen, we do get, everyone forgets about, all the doom and gloom, that is probably still going to come. The recession is probably still going to come. There is probably still going to be a crash. But I think the markets, every single country's government, my hair's ridiculous, every single country's government is going to do their best to stop the recession as quickly as humanly possible. Not stop it, sorry, push it away for as long as humanly possible. So I think we're going to have a chance here for an altcoin season. So these are options that I am personally watching here. And I think there's a lot of opportunity here, especially with these sorts of trades. If you can find these opportunities early enough, I think that there is a long way to go for the likes of Avalanche, maybe TRX, maybe some of these other coins that are around a $10 billion market cap. And of course, you can trade them with leverage on Margex here, because you can use actually AVAX as collateral to trade AVAX. That's why I really like this platform. That's why I'm using it for all of these trades. You can see you've got a bunch of trades here that we've been in since the market crashed, and that's when I like to get in, because those are the opportunities. And yeah, if you want to trade on Margex, there's a link down there in the description. Now, Could you please give us a price prediction on ENA coin? I've never even heard of that. What's that? Western Vores, how do I do my research? Can you be a little bit more specific? I can go through it, but I don't really know which research you mean. Target for a short squeeze. I assume you mean Bitcoin. The initial target I'm looking at here would just be the top of this resistance. So 68.5. Now, we're probably getting a lot of wrecked shorts here in the market, which is to be expected, given the news that we've just had. But remember, guys, that this is a very quick move. Look, now the market is predominantly long on the week. That's not very good. I'm sure on the day it's going to be basically only longs yet. We can see loads of long liquidations here. On the 30-day, hopefully, we're about even now, 7.5 and 7 billion. So yeah, we're about even now in the market. There is no bias here. There is no major either short side or sell side. So a lot of the market is now on both sides. So it's very hard to tell where we might go now, depending on this, depending on the liquidations, because normally I go against the market, the overall market. I'm predominantly long, as you know, I have all those positions open. But when we have a lot of people who are also long, it's not very nice. But this equal liquidations here could mean that we have violent volatility, just liquidating basically everyone, right? Everyone up and down, up and down, up and down. TRX prediction, I believe that basically everything that I do, right? Every time I find one of these larger caps, we can only compare it to other cryptocurrencies. So this is AVAX, right? It's at a $10 billion market cap. TRX is at a 13 billion or so here. So you can use the same sort of numbers. But if AVAX or TRX was to reach BNB in the last bull run, that would give it a price of, look at this, 282. That would be AVAX, and that would be a 10.9x from today. So maybe TRX could do maybe an 8x, because it is already a $13 billion market cap. Yeah, it's so hot in England right now, and there's no aircon in the houses. Dear Sir Gold, buy or sell this time. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Public altcoin profile. I don't know. Can you give me material on how to note the market trends properly, and also how to make in-depth research? It's a bit much to go through, but I can show you, like, this is how I have, these are all the wild amount of tabs that I have open. We got the bubbles, we got Bitcoin's chart, we got another chart for Bitcoin, we got liquidations, we got my own trading here, we got the greed and fear index, we got crypto search term here. These are all the things that I monitor daily. We got the Bitcoin or altcoin season here. We have the Bitcoin rainbow chart. We got Twitter, which I think is a great place. We got Coin Market Cap. We got Dex Screener here. Look at this. We got that coin absolutely nuts move here. Went all the way down to like $800,000, now back up to 2.4. Yeah, so those are the things that I look at on the daily. I look at the news. I have research that I do every day. How will the rate cuts affect the market about altcoins? Well, it all depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin continues to pump, altcoins will slowly go up with it. They'll rise with the float. And then what we want to see is Bitcoin basically break above this. I think we want to see Bitcoin break above the 69,000. That's the psychological level. We want to do something like this, break above it, come down here, maybe go up a little bit and do a little bit of sideways action like that, giving us an opportunity for the altcoins to get some liquidity, right? When people make a lot of money in Bitcoin and they start to get a little bit more risky, they want to put their money somewhere. So they find, let me find some altcoins, let me find some meme coins. So what we've seen this time round is Bitcoin pumps, then the meme coins pump, then we see the altcoins pump, and so far the altcoins rally have been pretty mediocre. Ali G, alt's doing okay, but little volume. When will the volume come back, do you think? Like I just said, yeah. Is the market bullish now, actually? I've been bullish on the market since about 18, since here. This is where I've been bullish on the market. So if you are new to the channel, guys, smash the subscribe button so you can stay up to date, because the last time I went live, which is, you know, before this month, so go back, it's like 2 years ago or so. The last time I went live, I was talking about buying Bitcoin at 18K. I was talking about Solana and all of those opportunities. And the market is bullish, in my opinion, yes. I don't know why you keep saying the same thing over and over. Price prediction of DOT and BTTC. I'm in a loss of 40 to 50%. Yeah, well, that means you would have bought it in the altcoin rally. You have to ask yourself, did I buy them because I actually believe they're going to go up? Do I believe in the technology? All of that stuff. And if you do, you can dollar cost average. You get half the price than it used to be. And now could be a great opportunity to buy. But I don't know if they're going to go up. I personally hold DOT in my long-time portfolio as well. Now, guys, I want to... Is that someone? Yes, we got my financial friend here. He's going to give us his thoughts on the FOMC because he is obviously American, as you can tell by the accent. And I think it's very important to get some other opinions on the market. So let's see. Hello, Sam.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You're live on the channel. Please do not swear.
Oh, holy crap. All right.
Lots of pressure, mate.
Yeah, I know. So what are we talking about today?
I want to know what you think about the old FOMC, mate.
Yeah, well, I was live streaming Jerome Powell speaking at Jackson Hole. FOMC obviously coming next month. It sounds like he's quite dovish. I don't want to repeat everything he said, but yeah, I mean, a couple notes I have from what he said. My confidence has grown that inflation is on a path to 2%. Kind of signaling too, because before they said they needed to see 2% before they start cutting rates. Now he's saying, oh no, we see that it's going to fall down, so we'll cut rates now. Today, the labor market has cooled considerably. It seems unlikely the labor market will be the cause of inflationary pressures. Downside risks to unemployment have increased, and the time has come for policy to adjust. So I don't know, it seems like he is full on dove mode. He did not rule out 50 basis points either, a 50 basis point cut. And I think that's kind of the reason why we pumped and then fell down a little bit. Now we're starting to move back up is because like everyone was super excited. Then they realized, well, if he didn't rule that out, maybe the economy is worse than we thought.
Yeah.
And now people are like, well, the economy can, go through a recession, like a shallow recession, and we could still pump if they just start injecting a bunch of liquidity into the market. And we have like the DXY falling almost under 100. We have global liquidity spiking. I think it was 3 or 4% in the last 2 months from what I saw on one of the charts. So yeah, I mean, everything looks really bullish, I think, for crypto.
My thoughts have been pretty the same over the last few months, and it's that everyone, when everyone was scared, I guess they're less scared today, apart like now's the time where they're starting to change their mind. But my thoughts is the Fed and every government under the sun, or everyone, will try and kick the fear of basically global turmoil. They're going to try and convince everyone for as long as possible that nothing bad is going to happen. So I actually don't believe that this has changed anything in the longer term. I still think that, bad stuff is probably going to happen. Recession is going to happen. It'll probably be worse than what everyone thinks. But what this does is it's going to give us an opportunity for, a nice little rally here. We could get a rally in Bitcoin. We could get a rally in the altcoins. Meme coins could come back. We could also get the rally. I was talking at the start of this video about the S&P 500. It's up 10% since the pullback, and 10% for the S&P 500 in less than a month is absolutely incredible. And I think that we're going to get this rally. And what this normally does is it convinces the whole market that nothing bad is going to happen. They forget really quickly about the bad stuff. So that's kind of what I think. And then when everyone, like right at the point where everyone's super euphoric again, they all start believing that nothing can go down, we're going to stay bullish. That's when, we get the real data that people have, the governments have been hiding. We get the real stuff that's going to come out. And then that's when we get the black swan events that absolutely rock the market. What do you think about that? And then what would be your plan to navigate that?
Yeah, I mean, there's always the fear of recession. There's always people calling for it. I think we do have to remember that, like, even since 2020, we had one of the worst sell-offs in stock market history that we've ever seen. Back in 2022, the start of the year to the bottom, or the halfway point through the year, the NASDAQ was down like 30% in 6 months. So it was one of the worst sell-offs we've seen over the first half of the year. And of course, that was really tough for Bitcoin too. I do agree with you that just when everyone feels euphoric is typically when we fall down. I mean, that's pretty obvious. From the 4-year cycles, everyone comes in towards the peak. They think that they're buying Bitcoin at 60,000 and it's going to go to 90,000. They're going to make 50% return, and then it falls down at 64,000. I was just looking at a new chart by Rational Root, the Bitcoin Spiral 4-year chart, and it shows that we're like in this recovery phase, the 2 years, or the year after the halving, basically, and then the next year we go into a parabolic move for a year. And that's basically what we're going into in 2025 is a parabolic move year. Then I brought this up and someone said, well, does that mean that we should sell out like at the end of the parabolic move, like the last quarter of 2025, because that's where it always peaks? And I said, basically, that's what people think. But then typically when that happens, it sells off before. It sells off either before time-wise or before we hit the peak that people think we're going to hit. So last cycle when everyone thought 100K, well, like on a logarithmic scale, we were actually pretty close to 100K because we went from 3 and did a 20x. Still, numbers-wise, we were still far off. So then, that was the point where we all said, okay, we've gotten enough gains. Everyone thinks we're going to 100. We'll sell now before everyone starts trying to take profits. I think that's probably what's going to happen this coming year too, where it looks really good. The Fed's lowering rates, but who knows? Something's going to come up. We're going to have some blow up, and then we'll probably fall down like towards the second half of next year. And then people will think that's just like a little bit of a dip for the next rally, and this is the time to buy in, and that's where there's more exit liquidity.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your insights, Sam. I don't want to take too much of your time, but yeah, things are looking good. I'm pretty bullish right now. I'm pretty pumped. Finally, altcoins are moving, and hopefully we start to make some money again.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think I told you this, but I nailed the bottom on 100x. You would be proud of me.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I placed it right at, let's see, 58,660.
Damn.
I think we went down to like 58,600.
Yeah.
But it was right on the trend line, and I just did it 100x. I put a stop loss right below the line. And yeah, we're up 550% in a few days.
Yes.
Took profits already. So we have our entire initial out. And now, yeah, we're sitting up 550% of the profit. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that.
So we definitely don't advocate for always trading with 100x. But when you get opportunities that are rare-ish, which is when everyone's really scared, you can take these outsized bets, basically, that the market is going to bounce. And then if you do manage to catch one of these bounces with 100x, you can make some significant money. So, of course, there's links to Margex and the other exchanges that I use in the description. Sam, thank you for stopping by. I'll chat to you again in a bit if you want.
Sounds good. One last point. I use Caspa. As my collateral on that, which you can only do on Margex. And instead of using USDT, where it would be up 550% in USDT, now I'm up 550% in Caspa, which Caspa is also appreciated by, I think, about 5% since I put on the trade too. So yeah, we're up even more than we would be otherwise. So yeah, definitely check out Conor's Margex link.
Some serious alpha there. I appreciate it, Sam. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
See ya. All right, guys. So as you can hear, we're both pretty bullish on the market. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you have any questions about altcoins, I'll happily go through them now. We did break the 100 likes that I was looking for. I got about a couple of minutes left and then I'm going to jump off the live. If you do want me to stay on longer, please do smash the like button so I know that I'm not wasting anyone's time. And I am here to answer some questions now. The political meme coins are good. Check out the coin called Cambilla. Yeah, they'll probably do well throughout this whole time. It's just trying to catch the main ones, right? It's very hard to do, but if you spread your bets, there is a chance that you might catch the next big one. What's my prediction on Ton coin? We went over it earlier, but as it's around a $10 to $13 billion market cap, I think that it can do similar to, oh, not Ton, sorry, I'm getting confused with Tron. Ton is Telegram's coin, of course. Let me check it out. It is 16 billion. Wow, it's large. I don't hold any of this and I missed the boat, which is very sad. But number 8, very nice, very nice. Well, at that sort of movement, at that sort of size, it can easily do the same again as one of these, Solana, ADA, BNB in the last bull run. This is what I like to do. I like to compare to the last bull runs. So 81 billion for Solana, 91 billion for ADA, and 109 billion for BNB. So, maybe a 5x, a 4x, and a 3x 4x there if it did those sorts of numbers, which I think is totally possible. And the thing is with these bigger cap altcoins is you can have larger positions. So you don't have to worry so much about, you know, them going to zero, which is the worry when you have the small caps. What's my opinion on SUI? You know, I hold some of it. Hasn't done very well. People are very bearish on the unlocks. I still hold it. Hopefully it goes up 20% today. Very nice. Look at the altcoins going absolutely crazy. I haven't actually checked my actual portfolio. So very nice stuff. Let's check the public portfolios. Oh, I'm not signed in. We'll have to check that another day. But yeah, 20% up, 2.6 billion. Again, guys, any one of these, SUI, SEI, TON, AVAX, some of the other ones, maybe like OP, maybe Matic, Casper, they could all be the next big runners for this. So you want to have, I'm exposed to all of them a little bit, you know, some of them more outsized than others. Casper, I've got quite a lot in. I dollar cost averaged quite heavily in the recent pullback, and we're not really far off that. It's really not up that much today. I think that SUI might be the biggest mover today in the top like 100. We got 20% move. From what I can see, it's the biggest mover. Let me know if I'm missing something, but that is a great, yeah, top 100. It will be SUI from what I can see. Wow, what a nice move. I don't use Forex, so I cannot tell you. PayPay is a very interesting coin, or probably good to have a little bit if you don't mind your stuff going to zero or going absolutely parabolic. Salmas, Kok Inu, yes, I still hold mine as well. If AVAX has its season, that I think is possible, then I think that meme coin will go up a lot from here. Nick S, 20k portfolio, what's too many coins? Depends, man. My weighting, it's more about weighting than like the site, like the weight of each coin. Bitcoin and Ethereum is like 50% of my portfolio, then Solana, some of the larger caps, about 25%, and then 25% is with the smaller cap risky plays. Good time to long Bitcoin or Ethereum? I mean, yes, but with a pin. You know, let's have a look at the Bitcoin chart. So it's up 2.3%, but you can see here, this is where I was getting into Bitcoin. So at about 56.8, 57.8, 53, and 50. Those are our trades. And then we can open up maybe Ethereum. You know, we've been talking on the channel, you can see I got in 2,200. So now we're on 2,600, we got in at 2,200. This is what I've been talking about on the channel for a while now. The opportunities, you want to get in them before we get this bullish news, right? You want to be dollar cost averaging, you want to be getting into the trades before. So if you do want to trade right now, guys, if you're desperate for a long, for example, because you think that we are going to break, let's take a look at this chart. All right, this is an interesting chart. Remember, today is Friday as well, so pay attention. These arrows are pointing to every other Friday. Every Friday. When we close on the Friday night, we either go up or down, we come back to that close. So if we get a parabolic pump this weekend, it could be an idea to short the market on Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on where we are, to see if we come back down to the close. Now, if we're on a technical level, we do have this forming, right? This was something that we are watching here on the channel. You see, we've just broken this. We found resistance at the resistance point, which we saw, 1, 2, we broke above it, but we didn't manage it here and here. Sorry, right there. So we found it now. It's at 62,200. So if we are breaking this, let's go down to the 4 hourly and see if it's a little bit better. Here we go. Look at this. Okay, so we've pushed up, we've come down. That may be the retest. And if we do break above here, it could be an opportunity. So if you want a risky play right now, a risky play is getting involved in and around the region of the resistance at, you know, about 69, hit 60,900, and then you could place a less risky stop loss around here, which would be, you know, around the 59.9. That doesn't give you much margin for error. You know, people, the manipulators like to wick things down, but you could place it below here if you want. 59.4-ish could be a region for less likely to come down. It's probably quite likely that we come down to retest this quickly in a wick, but there is a trade there as we have just broken out of this triangle here. So if you are looking for one, Remember, if you haven't signed up, get the bonuses. Like if you can sign up through Google or whatever, I don't really mind. But if you want the bonuses, $10,000 for Margex, there's some other big bonuses there as well for other exchanges. And guys, in my Patreon, let's take a look and see what the traders have done. So we got SHIB long, we got XRP long, we got Pepe long. So look at this, posted today at 1 p.m. So this was about 7 hours ago, long SHIB. Let's see how SHIB is doing right now. Up 5%. So SHIB is up 5%. You can see here, and it could have a long way to go if it manages to be the bottom here. This could be an absolutely phenomenal trade. So guys, come and join the Patreon as well. You see my personal trades and my team trades. And what's great about them is recently we've had some more bearish action and they've actually been posting short positions, whereas I'm very bullish, right? I'm always bullish. I'm very bullish in this market, but they post short positions. They've caught some very nice short positions. So it's a good balancing act between my own trades and them. And of course, in the Patreon, over the last couple of weeks, we've had a 10x, we had a between 10 and 100x. So it's been really good. So the link to Patreon is down there in the description. Meant holding Ethereum, Matic, Link, ARB, Arweave. Would you rotate into newer coins? I mean, Ethereum's down a lot. So I'm still holding all of my Ethereum. Matic hasn't really had much of a move. Link could have much more of a move. ARB could have much more of a move. Arweave could also have much more of a move. So I would just steadily dollar cost average into the projects that you've done your research into. That's the best thing to do here. I wouldn't be probably trying to trade in and out. We might have an opportunity now to rise and to ride this tide. If we do go parabolic here and we move into euphoria, check the greed and fear index here. If we're probably going to move into fear, we're in orange fear. We're going to move into fear, then we're going to be into neutral, then we're going to start to go euphoria. When we start to go euphoria, you can check this chart, right? You can check this altcoin season index. This may very well pump now in the next couple of days all the way up. If we start to get this to pump, now you need to be paying attention because that could be the rally where you want to start taking profits, all right? So be prepared for that. What should be the leverage on a SHIB trade? As low as possible, Mike, as low as possible. Of course, if you want to take a wild bet, remember, if you do 100x, if it goes down 1%, you get liquidated. So that's the ratio. So the lowest possible leverage is your highest chance to capture the move upwards, but of course try not to get liquidated. Revox, I just went through Sui literally like 2-3 minutes ago, so just rewind it back. All right guys, 37 minutes in, we only got 120 likes. I'm gonna jump off unless we can get these to 150 right now, because there's 180 of you still watching. 120 likes, man, you hurt my feelings out here. But we'll probably have to jump off because it's super hot anyway. But guys, hopefully I did provide you with some value today. If you can do me a favor, do smash the like button, even if you're not sticking around. It really does help the videos get out to more people. If you do appreciate and you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. I make videos every single day in this market, just talking about what I'm doing, trying to find opportunities. And if you do want to talk to me directly, see my trades and all of that, the links to the Patreon are down in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one.